Why do you tattoo? Is it to make a quick buck? Or is it because you have the passion? Or is it because you want to be famous? What's the difference between gatekeeping and holding the line? And what does the future of tattooing look like? Today, we're going to be speaking with Jime Litwalk and Matt Ryan Eternal, two world-class, world-renowned tattoo artists, to find out what they think. Join us on today's episode of the Ink Different Tattoos podcast.
Hello, Ink Different podcast listeners, and as Gabe would say, civilians. A quick editor's note for this episode. So, when we started rolling the cameras, our guest and host just started talking. And as such, there was no proper intro. What you need to know, for the point we're going to jump in on though, is that they had previously been talking about some opinions on fine line tattooing. Now, for audio listeners, I'm just going to include a little snippet of who is talking so you're not confused. First, we have our host, Gabe Jaksich.
I always say the same thing. We tattoo to connect.
Then Chico Cortez.
In fact, one of them was supposed to work for me and never showed the fuck up to work. I'm not going to say which one.
Ryan Eternal.
Damn, there's like 2 minutes left. You're gonna throw me under the fucking bus when there's 2 minutes left?
And of course, Jime Litwalk.
Kids stay up late, they can watch that. And like 2 minutes in, they were like, Dora. Yeah. Like, what Dora? I was like, what, the TV? Like, Dad's on TV. Could not give a shit.
Now that you're all caught up, back to the show.
It makes me think, in 20 years, we're gone probably, and all this shit disappear.
Right.
Nobody gonna know shit about this.
Nope.
Yeah, but it's gonna be the same argument, except fine line artists are gonna be bagging about the guy who does the thick lines.
Yeah.
The only people who are going to care about this are the people who always cared about it.
Right.
Like the industry is not the same no more. And the fact that we call it an industry and not a craft, that shows us that it is different.
For you, it's a craft or an industry?
Yeah. For me, it's a craft because I use my hands. Craftsman. To me, a craftsman uses his hands. There's a guy who welds. There's a guy who fucking does electrician. There's a guy who fucking works. If you use your hands, to me, you're a craftsman. A guy who's a fucking mechanic. A guy who fucking does the painting, everything. If a woman who cooks, like if you use your hands for something to make a living, to me, you're a craftsman.
I agree. Does it make now sense why the tattooing craft, no, and not tattooing industry, no?
Yeah, you ask the average person nowadays, hey, what is this? They're like, I don't care. When it's not working, I buy a new one.
They'll say it's page 7.
It's just new. And to me, it's art students turned tattooers because you couldn't figure out how to make a living. That's why you're a starving artist. So you go into the classroom. Here's a box of fruit. Paint the fruit. The teacher tells you the technique on how to reproduce it. Here's the colors you need. Here's the color value. It's the laws of art. So they teach you the laws of art to reproduce it, and it looks the same. You're like, now fucking maybe one of you out of 30 are going to be a high school teacher, and that's it. But no one knew how to do anything. But now you look at it, an art student can go, well, fuck, I don't need to be an apprentice. I have Amazon. I can just buy whatever tools I need and become an art student. So it's like, here's the same fucking animal skull. Here's the same peony. And here's the fucking same thing. And now...
And they blame, well, it's toxic over here. It's this, because they're not teaching me the right way. And they're being mean to me.
Okay, here comes the obligated question. So then, people like us, I would say probably all motherfuckers like us, why we don't consider that education is really needed on the industry, and why we are so against proper education in the industry. I know the word school, everybody does la 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 la, but isn't that just we're holding the fucking torch of the knowledge that no gatekeeping, but just the knowledge.
So when I was taught how to tattoo, I was taught that I better learn how to give back. You can't. A farmer farms every day to reap the benefits of his fruit, but he still continues to farm. So he busts his ass. So if you don't give nothing back other than to line your pockets, then you're not good. So telling that you're pushing a student out isn't giving back to the industry. You're creating more of a chokehold. Now, for me, if you want to give back to the industry, you need to produce flash. You need to produce something that's giving back to educate these people. There needs to be something archivable.
For example, like a book.
A book, flash, paintings, something that's tangible with your name on it, to where it's like you can help educate and people understand, because you won't always be around to have the words to tell somebody. Now,
information that can be passed along.
People can say that they love tattooing, right? Doesn't mean you should. I love fucking the fact that I could be healthy. I shouldn't be a fucking surgeon. It doesn't make me be there. I can watch a million fucking surgeon shows. Doesn't mean I should operate on
But
somebody.
what about
So
the guy
you-
who can't get an apprenticeship?
Huh?
What about the guy who can't get an apprenticeship?
Why not?
How can you get?
Try
What
harder.
is holding?
I mean-
okay, no. What is holding you
Yeah,
back?
what's
though?
holding you
I
back?
couldn't get an apprenticeship.
You could get an
No,
apprenticeship.
I couldn't.
You were at the
I
wrong
wasn't able.
places.
Yes, I was in Miami,
Yeah.
and I
Okay,
was
so-
Hispanic.
But doesn't mean that you could not get an apprenticeship. So
I
the
could
idea
not get an
is that
apprenticeship.
You
in
couldn't.
Miami.
You couldn't get one where you were local.
Right.
Where you're- yes.
But
But-
when you looked at a lot of the things, so you got into it because at the time you've seen a lot of it, and there was a lot more accessibility for you to go look. Where there used to be back then, there was 6-7 tattooers per state. Now we have 6-7 tattooers per block.
Right.
You know, and fuck, there's 13-14 people in a shop nowadays. You know, it's
And you
different.
think that is because of the craft is growing, or the educational institutions popping out
Neither
left
one
or
of those.
right?
I think the
Why is
fact
that then? There
I
is so many.
I think it's become socially acceptable to a point to where with the third largest growing industry, you need no education. You don't need an education, a schooling to learn to be a tattooer. Now, you can say the word school, but I can literally go on Amazon and buy a whole entire
But let's
shop.
say, for
with not ever
example, like
getting
I
checked.
just let's apply the same criteria, the same concept to being a pilot. You want to be a pilot, and instead to go in to learn properly, you go and hang out at the airport.
Mhm.
You talk to the pilot, say, "Can I see how you doing fly the plane?"
Yeah.
You go to fucking school. Why the craft have to be different when it comes to education?
It comes down to you, what you feel that you're going to give back to the industry. You were taught because your mentor looked and seen something in you that he's like, you know what, this is going to be viable, that I'm going to pass this information along.
Well,
Now, if someone comes up to me and I said, I've never had an apprentice because no one said the right thing
I
to
never
me.
had an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
I'm self-made.
Okay.
Why? Because in that time, back then in Argentina, there was only 2 guys doing tattoos, one from the Philippines, one from Bolivia, and I was a fucking young punk rocker with an orange mohawk like this. I started getting tattoos, 12, 13 years old. And in one of those sessions, it was doing this tattoo in my hand that I still have it. I bust his balls so bad. They give me the machine and say, "Fuck you, do it yourself." I said, fuck you, I'm gonna do it. So I had the machine in my hand, see it, destroy my hand, went back home, build my machine, and here I am.
Okay.
You know?
Perfect. What your story right there is going to help prove my whole point. Why? The dedication and even the fucking bullshit you had to deal with did not suffice or succumb for you to stop the drive of wanting to learn to tattoo.
At all.
Okay.
On the contrary.
You have people now that are tattooing that literally will look and be like, I don't want that on my body. I don't want to be
They're
covered
doing
in
it for the wrong
tattoos.
reasons.
Like, you don't want to be a
Tattoo artists without tattoos.
Without
I've seen
tattoos.
plenty of those.
Okay.
There's even
And then
tattoo artists
and
with
you-
tattoos that are doing it for the
And
wrong
there's
reason.
still, it's like, there's a thing and you're like, well, dude,
I think
if
I
that's
know
the
one
case,
of those guys.
then go be an
Fuck
artist
them.
or something. But yeah, see, no, you can't say that now.
Why not?
That's gatekeeping now to you.
Fuck them. I just,
See?
with capital F, I don't give a shit.
But why? They don't deserve to be in there?
You know what?
They don't, you're telling me those
So,
people, because
the
they're tattooing,
craft-
they don't deserve to be in there? Everyone deserves it, right?
Well, but look,
That's what you
Scott
said.
is gone.
Mm-hmm.
If we need to use fucking numbing solutions now to get tattoo,
that-
give me a fucking break.
That's a whole separate, that's a whole different
but
other rabbit hole we
isn't that,
fucking walk
isn't
down.
that just, in a way, just rounding the idea that all that's changed in the craft and not for the best?
But that's the whole thing.
How
is
we
like,
protect that? How we protect a kid being diluted?
well, we can't.
We can't.
Because
Not anymore.
that's why the word gatekeeping is so loosely used right now, is because we never had like a mayor. There was never no pyramid, you know? When you look at something that's just basically, there's always going to be an echelon of everything, and then the lower it gets to the bottom of the barrel, the less it's going to be. But at a certain point, you have to look, and when I say hold the line, is to understand who's going to be by your side. Who are you going to celebrate this knowledge with? Who are you going to pass this craft along to? That's up to you. That's not saying
Say
that when
something
you,
very important.
Now-
Who's gonna celebrate this knowledge?
yeah,
No, all the motherfuckers gonna celebrate it.
Well,
Even
they
the
can
ones
be.
that they want just to learn to make the money.
well, like us. So we're here, we're bringing up old stuff that we've talked about. It's reminiscing that we looked at it, like what we had to go through and everything there. And we get excited about that because it's like, I know somebody who's been through the same fucking shit I had to go through, the same bullshit, the same fucking heartache, the same like struggles for me to get knowledge.
Yeah.
It wasn't passed along to me. We didn't have a fucking phone. We didn't have an internet. We didn't have like an easy, like I can literally order everything right now in the middle of this fucking podcast and my shit will be at the
Think
shop
about
and
it.
done.
You got the
You know?
new kids that are together, right? they're not sitting around celebrating going, well, we got handed this knowledge easily.
Yeah.
They're not talking and reminiscing. They're making videos and doing it and trying to promote themselves. They skip past all this fun.
You
True.
waited
I
waited
that.
2 weeks for information, right? Hopefully, and that was
Hopefully.
fat. 2 months. 2 months. All right.
And
2 months.
Good luck if we can get our hand in an Easy Rider magazine.
Oh, dude, the last two pages. The last two pages when it was all the right. Oh, yeah.
You know how many times we used to do those?
Yeah.
The lion, the fucking panther, the skull with the flames.
The titty rose, the cover up, yeah.
We used to get the designs from there.
Yeah.
It was not fucking internet. It wasn't even that. I don't know.
That was your Bible. That was your Bible
exactly.
then. Yeah. So like when you looked at that stuff, okay, and everything that you had to go through that you're like, fuck, that was pride. Like I ground my teeth down to get this shit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
If you look at a fucking person now, and God forbid they don't have the shade of white that they want, or the curved fucking mag that's already made, or any of that shit that they've never fucking paid, they've never made for their lives, they've never made a needle, they've never made a pigment, they've never fucking put machines together, and if the fucking tint of what they're looking for isn't there, fucking losing their mind. They gotta go home today. Their whole fucking thing is
so
fucked up.
How do we change that? What we do?
So when we
gatekeep or we hold the line?
You hold the line. You hold the line. When someone comes up to you and you find out, like when someone's talking to you and you understand, like you just, whatever criteria you have is a thing. Like there's easy conversation. Like when you went into the shop, you know, and even in your circle of your home, not everybody you meet is allowed in your home, right? Yeah. Because that's a sacred place to where it's like, look, this is where I rest my head. Not everyone fucking belongs in my circle. Doesn't mean I don't have to, you know, I can have thousands of acquaintances, but you can only have a handful of friends. There's very few people you trust. And you instantly find out a lot of that stuff by people's mannerisms and thought. You can understand if their heart is pure. And it doesn't mean that they're not good student for somebody else, just not good for you, because that's what's coming from you. That's your legacy, that's your lineage, that's your stairs and your things that you're putting down for people to walk that path, you know? You turn that out there. So when I say like gatekeeping is like those people who are just like, you know what? I want no one to have fucking nothing. Like you don't want no one to have
knowledge,
nothing.
No information.
No information.
No
like, no, I'm buying every tattoo machine, every sense. Fucking needle. Like, hey, dude, this is the best fucking red ever in the world. Where do you get it? I'm never telling you. Like, well, that to me, like, dude, if everyone could have better, the idea is to we want to improve the craft. And this is like one of the stupid things that I always said. The reason why I went on fucking television was that same fucking reason. Is like, there's always going to be a person who finds a way to make money off of your hard work. That's just in every profession. That's never going to get away from it. There's always going to be the guy who looks at it and goes, well, you're doing the work. I'm just going to reap the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Every fucking politician, every king, every fucking, you know, industry owner, they're always going to be that way. But you're like, I know what I put into this thing. I know all the fucking history that I had to do to get to where I'm at. And you meet certain people when they come to you, you're like, look, man, yeah, you had a fucked up past. Yeah, you know, everything's not perfect. You know what? But there's something in you. I see that you have drive. And that you're going to be the guy who gives back to the industry. And like, what does that mean? We're like, you're going to be the guy that just doesn't line your pockets. You're going to produce somebody else who has fucking heart, who has fucking care, who has pride in this craft to pass along that knowledge to where other people are going to be just as prideful, who are going to understand that, you know, this is something that we should hold sacred, as opposed to like, no, this is an easy way to make money, instead of looking at like these outline fucking people where it's like, I mean, let's go to the 90s. You know, when did you start tattooing in America?
82.
Okay, in 82.
By the 90s, I was tattooing the people from Agnostic from 1992. Woti from The Exploited. Obituary. Every band that used to go...
Did you work at Lotus?
No. Every band that used to go to play to Argentina used to come to my shop to get tattooed.
Oh, okay. So but there was always that one person who's like, oh, my kid's a good student. My kid's amazing at art. They should be tattooer. You're like, why? Well, because they're good at art. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. You know how many fucking tattooers I know that are horrible at art, but are amazing at tattooing? Like, one of the things I laugh about was, you love Tom Renshaw. Tom Renshaw couldn't draw for shit.
Really?
Fucking one of the best fucking black and gray guys I've ever seen. But you'd ask him, he'd tell him, he's like, put the thing in front of me, I'll draw it. The dude was like a human copy machine. He could fucking look and draw. Fucking beautiful. I take the image away and be like, draw an apple. He'd be like, nah. It would look like an orange. It would just be circling. You're like, well, an apple doesn't look like that. He's like, well, fucking give me a photo of an apple. You gave him a photo of an apple, that fucking thing looks down to the like detail. He's like, he was a guy who can reproduce what he's seen. Doesn't make him not good for tattooing. He was great for it. It just because he couldn't draw didn't mean he shouldn't tattoo.
Yeah.
It's the craft of it, you know.
Let's fucking hold the line. Fuck gatekeeping. Now I want to hold the fucking line.
Yeah.
How do we hold the line properly? How do we pass the right information along to in the right way, the proper way, the way that you say like, okay, let's pick somebody that really have heart for it, the passion that I have to be, and not somebody that is just doing it for summer, wanted to learn how to tattoo.
All right. Well, I think this question is kind of dancing around the obvious of the room, you know. So if this is coming back around to like a school, if you're asking me, how do I think you would pick the right student for a school?
It could be
when you look at
an institution or no institution.
When you have an institution where you look at you can take an online course, right? There's everybody does that shit. You can fucking take a 2-week course and be specialized in anything. But there's more echelon like Ivy League schools, you know?
Okay.
Where it's like they're not just giving it out to everybody. You're like, let me listen to you.
I would almost
write
say
me an essay.
Trade schools.
Write me an essay why, you know, when you go to like a trade school,
Well, they're saying
tell me
that.
why you should be here. What do you have to offer? Because you're just a good student? Well, hey, if you're just really good at art, you know what, man? Go be in computer programming. It's going to be so much better for your life. You're gonna
Makes
have
a lot
more
of sense.
opportunities and everything else. But when you listen to somebody like, look, you know what? I always had the fascination for the history of the art. I've always had the history of the mechanics of what goes on into it. I've always had the knowing of the chemistry and biology of what goes into your pigments and stuff like that. Into the after, you know, it's like somebody who hears someone who goes, listen, it's not that I want to do this because this is the part, you know, like, you know, in South America, everyone knows Paulo Fernando, you know, it's like PF, you know, stuff. Not a great tattooer, but I will put that guy's knowledge against anyone in the fucking world when it goes down to like the tools of the trade. That fucking guy is so goddamn smart about everything. Knows it all. Tattooing, you would look at his tattoos and be like, this fucking guy doesn't know shit. Not that he's horrible, but it just wouldn't be someone you ever looked out for.
Yeah.
It was like, I got to go get tattooed by this guy. But when you listen to this guy speak in the passion that leaves his lips about this craft, he is so 100% of heart into it, where you're like, that's the guy.
Yeah.
You would listen and be like, well, should I teach this guy to tattoo? You're like, well, maybe I can't teach you to tattoo, but you're fucking the guy who needs to be a part of it because you're going to be beneficial to this craft. You're that guy. And you're going to just meet some people who just look at it and you're like, why do you look at it? Well, I like art and I can make money at it. You're like, that's your only answer? Then no.
Yeah.
This place isn't for you. I want to uphold something. I want to have something to where I look at somebody else and you're going to be around people. Like a successful shop is based around everyone having that same drive. You're building a second home. If you're going to be around these people more than you are your other home life, it needs to have that same drive. When you look at shops where you're like, this is a destination shop, everyone here's a fucking beast, a monster.
Yeah.
They're just fucking so passionate about it. It's because everyone holds the value of the craft to being the same. Now, you might not like his style of biomechanical or this guy's black and gray or this guy's color work, but you're like, hey, if you come here and this is the style you like, this is the fucking guy, because he's going to care just as much as that guy and that guy and that guy or that girl or anybody. They're going to have that passion and you surround it there. And when you pass those students along and you keep students around the same thing, they're not going to want to just do homework because it's fucking homework. They want to be like, dude, I want to do this shit because it's fucking awesome. Like one of the things I've told him before is that I hate when fucking people say that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. That is the dumbest fucking thing
bullshit.
ever.
I've been busting my ass since 1982,
If you love what you
brother.
do, you fucking work every day.
Fuck yeah.
You put in the work. And when you see people who are around it that love what they fucking do, they work their ass off. So when you have a shit ton of fucking workers around, shit gets done. As opposed to going, hey, you know what? Teach me how to where the pointy needle goes quick because I want to go open up a shop real fast. You're not the person for my fucking school. You're not the person for my fucking craft. You're not the person for this industry. Yeah, if you want to call me a gatekeeper, call me a gatekeeper. But I'm fucking holding the line. You don't deserve to cross it. That's how I feel. So when someone says the difference to me of gatekeeping or fucking holding the line,
it's very clear now. It's very clear now.
I
I think it was very, very, very well defined.
Well, but that's the thing is we're older, so I can give you an example to where you understand the feeling of how I'm talking. That's what
you know how many times I found myself asking like, but you don't care to know what you're doing, how the origins, how it started. You don't care. Well, yeah, I can always Google it.
Yeah, the question
I
always get, it's not going to make me tattoo any better.
Yeah, it's just
that's what I get. And I'm like,
it seems to be like that there is no interest or no will to know more than what is needed.
but I'll be honest. I've had a million conversations with a million tattoo artists, and no one's been like Jimmy. Like, I think I've learned more from Jimmy in the last 3 days or 4 days that we've been speaking since our 15-year motherfucking friendship. Because it's always at a convention. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. He would sign a skateboard, and I'd buy it or whatever, or we'd hang out or whatever. And, you know, he never bought me that hot dog. He said it was gonna buy me. But still, it was just like, you know, and my respect just grew like 100 times for you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And we didn't know each other before, but just, I don't know, I wanna tattoo your name in my back. What the fuck? In a nice cursive letters with some shading.
Fine line, though.
Because
I'll get back to that story. It's pretty funny.
It makes a lot of sense, and even that in general, you know, I found that in the predicament that shows, okay, what to do in those cases, and also thinking to myself, like, we're gonna go extinct, we're gonna cease to exist in 20 fucking years. Nobody gonna fucking know anything else,
right? Because
there is no need not to know. It seems to be a lot of people up for a quick buck, some iPads, and fine line and ignorant style, and that's it.
Well, there is don't lose sight of the craft by the overshadowing of the industry. There are people that will give a fuck about you in 25 years. Now, that number is going to be a lot lower because of the industry, but understand that you have people that you've been in their lives, that you've passed along that knowledge that these guys give a fuck about. This guy here. Now, it might not be 100 people, but you have one guy who's going to speak your name with passion. He's going to understand the stories and everything that came through it with heart.
Do we own this shit going on to social media? Part of it?
What do you mean?
Like this delusion of the industry, like getting diluted, that the knowledge not being needed and just being social media dictating the trends now about what is in, what is out.
Yeah, the whole tattoo rock star mentality.
What's the next thing? Those are the next thing. Those have a shelf life. Even though we think we do, it's the fact that I am here, and then hearing this now is so much more different than when I leave from here. This is a story that I collect now. Like, this is something I've been around a bunch of what I consider fucking tattooers, not people who tattoo for a living. I'm around tattooers. And when I leave and people tell me the stories, like, oh, you did a podcast, like, I don't care if fucking a microphone was on. I leave here. There's no different than this was an actual fucking bar. We sat down and we broke bread.
We can be sitting right now with a few beers in front of us.
To me, no one's going to take that from me.
Yeah.
To me, that's history. To me, that's pride in what I'm fucking doing. This is tattooing. This is you traveling somewhere. This is what to me, this is what tattooing means. This is what the craft means to me, is that you sit down and you share stories, and who gives a fuck about all of it? Like, we'll swear, we'll cuss, we talk shit, we say something off-putting, as opposed to like some other podcast, you're like, well, you're doing really good and this and that, and how is this? And, you know, it's so fucking bullshit. You're like, you motherfucker, you're just telling people what the average person, the thing people want to hear. You're like that same popular song. It's the same beat. It's the same fucking rhythm. It's the same fucking, you know, subject matter. Everything is the fucking same. It's just the tone is slightly different. Just looking at tattooers. If most of the tattooers out there now, if you don't see the name underneath the fucking Instagram thing, you don't know who did that shit. But when we started, I would look and I'd be like,
true.
Fucking Jack Rudy did that shit.
Yeah. You knew it right away.
You like,
seeing the magazine from far away.
Yeah. You fucking knew
it right
who
away.
did it. I didn't know, because that everyone's got a thumbprint, but yours is unique to you. That was that style back then. Like, yours was so unique that you understood it. Where now, if you don't do what everyone else is doing, you're not known. Back when we started, if you weren't doing something that nobody else was doing, you weren't known. You had to stand out. Your individuality is what separated you. Like punk rock, you know, it's like you did that shit. Like, I don't give a fuck if my hair is 3 foot tall and orange.
And I don't give a fuck.
I don't look like that guy sitting on the bus. You know, like, you separated yourself. You became your own thumbprint, you know?
And I still don't give a fuck. The shop that I have,
and that's why you're still tattooing, right?
Against everything that you can find. For example, now this trend of just, it looks like a fucking Starbucks, the shop, or nothing, or clean, or minimal. I went back to the fucking origins because I discovered at this age there is nothing else that I can do. It's just.
So the wording is different.
Yeah.
You're tired of seeing the people who got everything that did not have to put shit into it.
You know how many people come to the shop and see the awards on the wall and say to me like, you have an award from you're first place in 2003. You know how many people? 0.
Dude,
nobody gives a flying fuck.
I don't know if anybody fucking remembers this. Remember when you walked into a convention and there wasn't 400 booths?
Yeah.
There was 20. And
with good luck.
And good luck if there's 20, right? And every one of those motherfuckers had their shirt off. Every one of them. We all had our shirts off.
While we were fucking no shit with a fucking bandana.
Yeah, man. Like fucking
the Marlboro sometimes it was hanging like this.
Got up and you fucking had your shirt off.
Fuck yeah.
And you fucking tattooed.
There you go.
And you know what? This is what I look like when I tattooed, right? This is what I was proud of. This is tattooing.
You owe me $20.
Well, you say that you're gonna make it
that he was gonna take off his shirt within the first 20 minutes.
This is when you walked in.
Yeah.
These were my people.
Yeah.
Because we wore what we were proud of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what it was about. So
that's fucking awesome.
That's what I miss. I miss those people. It's not the tattoos. The tattoos are amazing. They're great.
It could be amazing, fresh.
Yeah.
Probably after 2 years, it doesn't look amazing anymore. But we're still tattooing to fucking connect.
Right. Yeah.
To connect with others, with customers. There is no awards to be won.
I want a convention with no awards. I want to do a convention.
Let's see how many people's gonna go.
That's with no. Hey, hear me out. You're not allowed to book appointments, and there's no awards, but it's going to be a convention. You walk up, you meet the artist.
There,
you know
fucking
Scotty,
tattoo,
right?
yeah,
Scotty.
Yeah.
What is worse? These poor motherfuckers walk through the door. They pay $80 for the weekend, and you go to every booth, and they're fucking booked out. Oh, I'm trying, and they got someone sitting in their chair that isn't paying for the tattoo. That's getting the fucking 3-day long.
Not even that, like,
I didn't support the last one that happened in Miami.
No,
because I don't support. I don't like the person that organized the fucking show, and I have no shame to say it. And I don't support the show. And it's the only convention that I hear that is not allowed tattoo of the day. All the tattoo artists that were working there, they have already booked from before to produce the piece for the competition. It's a convention that's only for the competition. Me, if I want to go and get a fucking tattoo that day, forget about it. You're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
The social media thing, it's necessary. We need social media to bring in clients. I do social media not to get famous. I do social media to get money to pay my bills.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah.
The kids now aren't doing it for the tattoo. They're doing it for the fame end of it. And that's the hard part. Because they're losing the beginning part. You know what I mean?
But I mean, that's where it comes from. It's like they were never showed.
They weren't taught this part.
They were never showed.
Well, we're talking about that, for example, it has a lot of tattoo artists. I have only one friend that works with me. I really don't want to just get people to work at the shop to avoid, for example, what you're saying. Today you have the tattoo artist sitting at the shop, no hustling, only just drawing or watching a movie on the iPad during the free time, no drawing, no going with business cards around the neighborhood, no hustling at the door of the shop. Nobody smokes anymore. So before we used to go to...
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Go for it. Go hard.
I don't have a wallet on me.
Fuck yeah.
I don't have a wallet on me.
Here's one of the things I talked to him about. One of the things that people don't understand. As I said, when we first started tattooing, and this will apply to everyone here too. One of the things when we go out at the end of the night, you know, when we could turn in our drop and stuff like that, we would go to the bar and we get to the bar and Chuck would be like, hey, put $50 on the table. I'm like, why? He's like, put $50 on the table. So I go, okay, put $50 on the table. Everyone put $50 on the table. And he goes, now everybody pull out a business card. And he's like, what? And if you didn't have a business card, he'd take $50 from you. And I go, why is that? He goes, because we're in a fucking bar. You're here to network. And the person who goes, I don't have a business card, you just lost the shop money. So I'm fucking taking the money that you made me lose. Now, that nowadays people have phones, social media, so I can kind of give it a little bit of a leeway so I understand. But that thing would never matter. But here's my problem now is that, like you said, people that sit in a shop, right? That's your home. That's your place. You've allowed people to come in instead of wearing it. My man.
Take it.
Yeah. And
I don't want to lose no money.
You have these people. But then you're like, what are you doing? They're like, oh man, it's fucking dead. It's that. Remember, we used to draw flash and everything. That was our slow season. You know, and sometimes we would pitch quarters against the wall to joke with each other or play CeeLo or something, you know.
Some fights in the parking lot.
Whatever. Yeah. Something to get the day by.
Yeah.
But you have guys now that have these iPads and all this stuff, and they're sitting around and watching this and like, oh, it's so dead. I'm not doing anything. You're like, cool, man. Let me see that sheet of flash you just produced. Yeah. Oh, I didn't do nothing? Okay, well, you know what? The shop doesn't have a lot of merchandise. Let me see that sticker you just drew. Oh, you didn't draw a sticker?
The kids now don't understand.
Let me see this fucking thing that you just painted up so we can make a banner or a poster or a flyer, something that can make you money while you're sitting here doing nothing. Oh, you didn't do anything? You just sat on your ass all day and complained that you weren't spoon-fed? Oh, sorry that you weren't hand-fed and you're fucking starving now. Let me show you the difference of what it was like when I started. It's because I didn't sit here. I fucking had to do something.
Nobody has the hassle
They
anymore.
taught us that Flash wasn't just Flash. Flash was money for later. That was money for the bank.
We used to call it drawing money.
Yeah, you're drawing money. It
We
might
were
not get
drawing
taken
money.
that day, but it might get taken tomorrow.
Yeah.
It might get taken the next day.
But you'll have these people
But
that
you
sit
have that
around
money ready.
and you'll ask how many people with all these, and it's even easier now. Like, fuck, dude, how many times do we waste paper and fucking draw on the fucking window? Like, your iPad is so much more free, is convenient. But out of this convenience
still
becomes
lazy.
even more lazy.
Well, some of my guys get mad at me
Why?
because
Spank them.
they want to get paid for drawing.
What?
What?
Yeah, they want to.
They do.
They want to take.
No,
a
no,
Wait,
let me
they
explain
said
something to you.
What?
Tell them that, you know what? I'm happy you said that. I want you to know that I have overly paid you because I've given you a fucking location that took me all these years to fucking make sure that my name and reputation built the doors up so you can come here to work. So you're welcome. You have been paid. Now you owe me money. Now you've taken away from me paying you. Now the fact that you came here and done nothing and wasted time, so why the fuck should I pay you for not doing anything? Name another fucking profession where you can go and sit on your ass other than being a fucking hooker.
Bro, let's be
It's not gonna happen.
We make more than doctors most days. Like, let's be real.
To a degree,
To a degree, we can't. If
To a degree, yeah.
If you hustle,
I was gonna say,
like we were taught,
the difference is
you can't.
you have to do the work to
You have
fucking
to do
do it.
legwork.
The doctor fucking has to do the surgeon to make the fucking paycheck,
Right.
right? But if you're not gonna fucking do the work, then you're not gonna make the money. You can't come in and expect me to do something. You
at the front of the shop, have a smoke. Bring one walking.
Mm-hmm.
Go have another one. Where did you get that? Oh, God, come, let me show you
whoever
something.
went to the bar, whoever went to
Another
get
one.
lunch, whoever went something, you
all
pass
the
something out.
strippers, you'd go to the strippers, you
Any of
tattoo
that
all the
stuff.
strippers for free.
Oh, the car shop, the bike
you know what I
shops.
do? I go to the local Starbucks, right? And I go in and I meet their manager and I go, hey, I'll tattoo everybody in here for free. Any one of my pre-drawn flash on me. And guess what? Now every person in that Starbucks is wearing my art and they're telling everybody in the place. How many people go into a Starbucks every day? It used to be the strip clubs, but that ain't.
Yeah, now it's Starbucks.
Now it's
yeah.
not the same.
To
Now
get
it's
the
Starbucks.
cake pops.
Internet,
Yeah.
you know, things,
But
eyes, whatever.
everybody
Unbelievable.
But that's the idea is that you have these guys who are complaining about it. You're like, no, I think your perspective on what's been given you too much is that you don't understand it. And this is where it comes from. Is someone's going to come in and half of it is on your fault that you've not explained to these guys yet of like, it's been such second nature to you to understanding the struggles to everything that you had to do to get where you're at, that it's just become like, hey man, I fucking done it. I'm too worn out in there. And these guys come in, you're like, these motherfuckers aren't grateful. I'm like, if one of these things, I tell people, you know, my girl Heather, she's talking about like these guys fucking waste all the stencil paper. And I go, hand them one sheet or tell them to buy it themselves. And she's like, what? I go, I guarantee you the first time a fucking tattooer has to buy their own box of stencil paper, they're not fucking wasting it
He's
again.
gonna start printing the stencil on the bottom of the paper, not on the
Yep.
top or on the middle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
Until somebody's name is on that fucking door, they don't understand the stress. People are like, oh, you don't give a fuck. You're like, yeah, I just spent 2 hours fucking arguing with my chick and 2 fucking hours with my fucking sick kid just to make sure I ran to get fucking light bulbs and toilet paper so your fucking little lazy ass, you could fucking go into the bathroom and shit with the lights on and not have to worry about it. But that was 2 hours out of my day that I fucking went and made sure that the fucking shop was stocked. But that didn't matter to your life, did it? No,
So
because you
back-
came and just fucking worked and went home.
Tell me.
Going back to that, like, kids get upset with us, right? The younger generation, they're getting upset with us because they're like, oh, they're too tough and they're gatekeeping and all. We're not doing that. We want to teach them longevity, so it keeps going. If they listen, we want to give them longevity. If they don't listen, they lose longevity because they're in the now, right? We've done this a long time. If you're an old tattooer and you're still tattooing right now and you're still tattooing, you're doing something right. This is a hard time.
We went through Twin Towers to
Everything.
pandemics,
All COVID,
to
everything,
attacks,
like,
to you name it. Because we went through a lot of shit that affected us in a way to not to.
We're trying to teach them, hey, it's not about style.
Shit.
But I mean, even back before that, you're talking about you came from a fucking country to where it's like the fucking government was fucking one of the biggest gangsters.
I came in. Look,
like,
when I landed in Miami,
rock there, like that shit was fucking crazy.
I landed in Miami when it was a white fucking Bronco running through the streets of LA. So that was my coming to the States, 1995 it was. And I was like, what the fuck is this, And just OJ was just running away from the cops. The glove didn't fit later and all that stuff. But I came in 95.
Yeah, styles back then, like, if it wasn't for those old guys that were doing something differently and they had to be the tip of the spear. Everyone talking shit to them, going, "Oh, that fucking tattoo's fucked up. That's not gonna last. It's gonna be this. It's like every old head, just like everything, Like I remember, I worked this show. It was fucking crazy. I'm tattooing. Me and Tom Renshaw are sharing a booth. Philip Liu came in the booth to tattoo Tom, and I'm like, "Oh my fucking god!" And then I got
Philip fucking Liu,
dude. Hold on.
What the fuck?
Bro, I had Hanky Panky on the other side. Okay. And this is back when, and then like Mario Barth, when he was still over in Europe, was there. And then you had all these guys that were just around. Everywhere I looked, it was like anybody and everybody who was in the magazine was standing around. And I'm just like, holy fuck, dude. I don't want to work. I just want to look and talk. Like, I didn't care about shit. I'm like, this is fucking amazing.
This is way better than what you were expecting. We didn't follow protocol, and
I do.
There ain't no protocol.
This is like a fucking amazing.
When you find old people around again, I don't need
Why
a
we
fucking
gotta be
script.
old? Why can't we just be wise?
Experience.
We've been called a lot of shit. A wise ass is the only time that's ever been called. I don't think we've ever been called smart. Smart ass. Wise ass.
Real quick. Just for everybody, this is Jimmy Litwalk, in case you didn't know, because we just jumped right into it.
Now you know.
Right? And this is Matt Ryan, better known as Ryan Eternal. And, I ask a lot of ink masters, and I know neither one of y'all are crazy about that word. And that's the fact that's what impresses me. Because when I ask ink masters what they think of everything, it's usually a real positive and go-ho type thing. But since I know both of you personally, I want to ask, if I may ask, how did ink masters affect your life?
Like, I understand it. I understand why it's there. But I was telling her, like, there was only one reason I did it. Like, I only did it straight out, and there's a picture on my Instagram. You can see it. It's my daughter looking up at me on the TV. And that was it. The only reason is because I know when I'm dead and gone, she'll be able to watch me afterwards. And that's the only reason. That's why
Your daughter watched on TV?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Dude, I got to pick. Oh, it's the best picture,
I lost.
man.
My kids didn't watch it.
Oh, they
I
didn't?
was so excited the night Mike came on. And I was like, I'm going to let them stay up late. They can watch Dad. And Dora the Explorer was on TiVo. And I had to fucking change it.
Like, cool.
You lost to
I was
Dora the Explorer.
Dora the Explorer.
Come on, vámonos.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you pretty fuck with Dora.
So
Swiped, huh?
Swipe, and I had to swipe. I was so
man.
excited. And the thing is, because remember they used to tell you had to be on Twitter.
Twitter to watch.
Twitter was the thing
Wow.
original. So I had to be on Twitter to interact with people. And so like you're sitting on there. So it's like first episode.
We would be on the show.
It was I'm like gonna let my kids. They were babies, So I'm like let the kids stay up late. They can watch that. And they're like 2 minutes in, they were like, Dora.
Yeah.
Like, what Dora? I was like, what, the TV?
Dora.
Like, Dad's on TV.
Fuck
Could
this
not give a
shit,
shit.
just-
Bro, you want to fucking humble yourself? Have your kids in your life. No one will give a fuck less about you. You're like, you're just dad.
They will bring you right down to
And
earth.
bro, that was I was so grateful for my kids
for
about
better or
that.
for worse?
For me, I think from my life it was better. I think each individual person it made
Does
different.
it produce
For me,
the
it
need
produced
of producing way more business after the show than before?
certain people, yes, certain people, no. For
Some
me,
people look like, oh, you've been on TV.
me, no.
I want to get a tattoo with you because you've been on TV. Kind of like that kind of thing.
for me, it's a yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay,
wait till
no.
you hear Jimmy's explanation.
All
Not
right.
that I've heard it, but go ahead.
Well, for
I thought you were pulling your sidearm, but that's only your fault.
no. I just want to. It's things my daughter's like. I'll stop everything. Like when it comes to my kids, like everything. Like the God come down himself and be like, "Look, I'm gonna tell you the secret to life."
Yeah.
And if my daughter's like that, I'm like, "Hold up, God, go ahead, baby. What do you want?" Like,
yeah,
on, bro.
Yeah.
So I just make sure. No, but for me with tattooing, now, the reason I did the show is because I had done other TV shows when I was out living in Vegas, but the reason I did this show, I wasn't supposed to be on as a contestant. I was supposed to be on as a guest judge. They had heard my name a lot. They when they were brought up about New School and stuff like that, they were going to bring me on as there. I was at a show in Philly. I met the producers there. The day after, they said, hey, we liked your personality. Would you want to come on as a contestant? And I said, why the fuck you want me on as a contestant? You just asked me to be a guest judge. And they're like, well, you're going to be on one night or multiple nights. And we feel like that you seem like a person who has a lot to say, which, yeah, I don't ever shut up. But that's kind of what it fit in. And in my head, I'm like, well, you know what? Tattooing seems fucking stupid about this because it's going to take it down. But it came back to me. I had this problem, and you'll understand this era-wise, is that magazines caught a lot of shit too. There was a time when we used to wait for Outlaw Biker to come out because there was only 2-3 pages in the back that showed biker rallies that had tattoos in it, and you looked at it and it was like our Bible.
You should meet the pictures, and probably yours were published 2 years
and
later.
Then you had Tattoo, the Tattoo Flash, and then you had, all those magazines come out, and it was like, those were like, holy fuck, you couldn't wait to get to Barnes and Nobles to grab the new magazine. It was all this. But then it was like, it become more expensive. There was more shows, more travel, there was more things. So the cost of making a magazine went up. But then it's like, well, we need sponsors now. So you would have supply companies be coming there. And everyone was like, well, fuck that, dude. It's a tattoo magazine, not a supply catalog. What the fuck, blah, blah, blah. But no one knew the understanding of like what goes into it. Just like a tattoo shop. No one thinks that you just go home and you make money. They don't think that your job fucking stops. Never. Like when you leave, you're still working. You wake up, you fucking have to work. Like your job doesn't stop when you hit the lights. Majority of the people don't understand that until they've had to have their name on something. It's because it doesn't stop. There's other shit behind the scenes that make everything go. It's like tattooing isn't just the needle in the skin. It's like knowing how to prep, knowing how to set up, knowing how to be more efficient. Like there's a lot that goes into it before the needle ever touches the skin. There's behind the scenes shit. So with magazines and all these advertisings, people would motherfuck magazines. Fuck that magazine, and the quality of pictures that came out weren't as good, but that they printed what they had. And so people would be like, oh man, you see that magazine? Fuck that shit. And I was like, why? They're like, well, dude, all you print is garbage. I was like, well, what did you send them? Right. I ain't fucking send them nothing. I go, well, if you're that good and if you think they only print shitty magazines or photos, if you'd have sent them this, I'm pretty sure yours have been there to show people what they should produce. But if no one produces it and stands up for it, they're going to think like this is what's the best thing out there. Because when people look at tattooing and go, I want to get a tattoo, let me look at it. And if you're showing them what mediocre is the standard, then that's where their expectations are. But if you as a tattooer and you owe it to tattooing and you make a living at tattooing, and this is something out there that's helping people come in and fucking give you money, send them what a fucking tattoo should look like. You show them what a fucking standard is. You show them that this is the tier. When you had Brian Everett, Dino Cook, and then fucking Nico Hurtado, you looked at that
Dave
ladder
Bloom
climb.
In Texas.
Yeah, you looked at that climb.
Dave Bloom.
Yeah, Dave.
Man.
So when you see that that's the standard, when someone else comes in and goes, dude, if you want to be known or you want a good thing, here's what you do. This is the standard to it. But if you're not being a part of it to show everybody, then fucking don't complain.
And you think the show helped you out to show the standard?
So that's why I agreed. I was like, they're going to produce a show anyway.
Uh-huh.
If they're going to produce it, why not about me?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Why don't I stand up and go, if I know I'm not the best tattooer, I'm not the best new school tattooer, but I have pride in what I do and I feel like I can do a solid fucking tattoo. So let me show them that it's not always about fucking drama and bullshit. So I went on. Well, to a little bit to my knowledge that I thought I was going on for tattooing, and I realized they're on there for ratings. Different things, but it happens to be about tattooing. So I went on there with the intentions of like, hey, you know what, man? You can compete, but still foot. I looked at it as like a convention to me. When they looked at it like, no, we need drama. You need to talk more shit. I'm like, I'm not talking shit. I don't care. This is not what I think.
They were openly asking you to say like a just generate
always
fuckery.
People would people would ask me like, they're like, I got yelled at by everybody, by the producers so much. They're like, I would walk up, I'm like, oh fuck, dude, here, change this. They're like, why are you helping that person? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, why are you drawing with your competition? They're here to win the money you want. I go, I'm like, I want you to understand something. I've never had money. So for me, I can't miss what I've never had.
Right.
It would be great for me to have it, but I can't miss what I haven't had. But what I do have is this industry and this fucking craft that I love. So I'm going to show them how to do something so they don't fucking make a fool of themselves. I'd rather lose to something that was a great tattoo as opposed to something going, yeah, I won that because no one told him it was fucking backwards, or no one told him to erase that fucking toe, or no one told him that that's not the fucking color. You owe it. Talk to that person and they'd be like, Jimmy, shut up. I'm like, and then I just realized I took away their drama. They wanted that guy to fuck up because that would have been great ratings. And so when I would help people draw this and be like, I don't understand why you're doing that. I go, I don't understand why you're not doing that. I'm like, wouldn't you rather have great tattoos?
There was a lot of guys that drew other people's fucking tattoos on that show.
Dude,
there was
half
so
these
much
fucking
shit.
winners now weren't drawn by them.
Happened on my season a bunch.
Oh, revelations.
But
don't let it
A
fool you.
lot
Like,
of
they're not-
fuckery.
Yeah.
the amount of actual artists that are on the show, there's a lot of people that do the tattoos up there, but there are not a lot of artists on the show.
So we can say there is a before and after for you guys personally on the shop, the operations, what you guys doing before and after the show.
The show
In a
hurt
way.
me. The show hurt me going on there.
Even if it's like just in a customer volume, or to discover that the show was full of fuckery. There is a before and after.
It's not that I found out it was fuckery. I think it opened my eyes up to what life really is. And it was just a learning experience. And this, again, they were there to do their job, and I did not understand their profession. That's all that was. It's not a shot at them. It's when you realize like how TV is, you realize all TV is that way. I am not saying that they were bad or anything like that. They're just great at what they're doing.
You look at news different. You look at everything different.
Well, I told you that I had words with Mark Matthews, which he would have kicked my ass because he's
a pro fighter. You know
what I'm saying? And he said something that he said something like "no es muy bueno," and they edited it.
Yeah,
and it looked like he was saying it about Tattoo Baby.
Really?
Yeah. That's why they put us in the same clothes. They choose our clothing, so they would have
Really?
so they could cut and chop and make continuity, so where they can like pick and choose where they want us to say.
So Tattoo Baby was on the show and he said something, and they took it out of text and it said "no es muy bueno," and I was like, so this motherfucker's making fun of us.
Yeah.
And when I went up to him, he was like, "Yo, Chico, I don't believe you would even think that of me. You know me." And I was like, I know, but why did you say it?
Yeah, why did you say that?
He was like, I didn't say it.
They
call Kathy's Tattoo Baby. And when I called her, she was like, nah, he was cool as fuck. He didn't say nothing. I was like, I'm sorry, Mark.
No, same thing. Dude, when we were on there, like, dude, I stood up for her. Like, I talked to her. Like, when she was trying to get off, like, dude, they were like, dude, be your big brother. Be your big brother. Like, dude, I talked to her. I was like, dude, you can't do it. I talked so many people out of fucking quitting that show and fucking doing changes. They would get pissed off all the time. They were just so mad about everything. And there was like a joke. There was like, I still get hate email to this day. I'm like, dude, that shit was 11 years ago. Oh, yeah. Dude, I remember the first time I got a first death threat. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. I got so many death threats. I got so much prison mail. I got a ton of prison mail.
Yeah.
Saying, for example, like what?
Oh, dude, people were like, you're such
amazing.
a bully. You're a fucking asshole.
They
Why
made
you
me
do
look
this?
like a biker on the show. And like
And if that was the case, so what?
Whatever, but they vibed with it. So I hit a demographic, right? That demographic liked me. So
it's
then
a boy band thing.
Yeah.
That whole thing is
What he's
TikTok.
trying to say is he got dick pics.
Lots of them.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Jealous? I don't blame you.
What the fuck? Look, fuck this shit about ink masters. Let me ask you something that people is asking. I'm receiving questions, and this is this one it comes for you. It comes from the public, and I really don't want to put you on the spot. But people is asking, what the fuck happened with your eye?
My eye? Oh, I got a concussion.
Are we
Monday.
live right now?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, no, the other guy is worse, no? Or probably in a hospital.
I was training jiu-jitsu.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. And I just caught a knee to the face, and it popped my nerve in my cheekbone, and it just black. Yeah.
Okay.
It happens. It's cool.
Matt, you do a lot with Army bases, American.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I work on different military bases around the world. It's going to be around the world. They're getting ready to open four bases overseas. Japan, Alaska, Hawaii, and Germany.
You go to Japan, I'm going with you.
Yeah. I know. I'm really excited. Anyway, so basically I live on a plane every 2 weeks and I go to a new base.
No shit.
Yeah. So like, that's why the demographic affects me different. So I have a whole military base, and there's maybe 3 artists in the shop, and we're on base in the shop.
So you have the shop on base, tattooing at the base.
Yeah. And so the company's called American Tattoo Society, and they put me up They book me out. I'll go for 2 weeks. The minute I get there, I'm booked out for the whole 2 weeks. And then if I can fit in any other walk-ins, whatever. So I have this whole base. They're gonna see me first before they ever leave the base because they're lazy. They don't want to leave base. They want to stay there.
They want to stay there.
So, and I'm an ex-soldier. I'm a veteran. So it's like they would rather get tattooed by a veteran. And then on top of it, they're like, wait a minute, and you were on the show? Oh fuck! All right, I'll fucking get tattooed by you.
Nice.
So yeah, ton of work. So, but like. In 3 days, I leave for California, and I'll be there for 2 weeks at Travis Air Force Base. So,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, so you for example, you mentioned Japan. You gonna go and tattoo over there?
As soon as it opens, yeah. I want to go to Alaska first because once I tattoo in Alaska, I've tattooed in all 50 states.
You've been there in Japan before tattooing?
No, just Korea.
What would be like the difference? For example, like just how does it feel? And we thank you for your service. And tattooing in a base, tattooing military
awesome.
personnel.
Because to
I got
me,
my oldest son in Coronado Base in the Navy in San Diego.
Yeah.
So my oldest son is there. So I want to go. I said I got to see and get me some customers. I go to the fucking base. I want to do the fucking base.
It does have a nice feel, like a newer vibe, but at the same time, it's still a walk-in style shop. Like, yeah, they book me out
People in uniform.
with people in uniform, and the best part about it, they don't come in. They're not allowed to be rude to you. They have to. It's yes or no, sir.
Whoa. Can you expand the idea?
Yeah.
There are rules?
Well, there's rules. So we still have to tattoo within the regs of the base. So if they come in and they treat us bad, we'll hit up their sergeant major. Hey, guess what? Your boy came in. He treated us like this. Yeah, I'll take care of him. No problem. And then they reprimand him.
You see the MPs coming.
Oh yeah, no, it happens. It happens all the time.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it happens all the time. And then they come in. They have to be nice to us. We're not allowed to tattoo outside the regs. So. We have to do
there is regulations.
Yeah, there's regulations.
Okay.
We're not allowed. We have to stay within their regulations, which actually is nice because it's all the better skin, right? So, and there's a ton of ways that they can pay us, which makes it even easier.
Hand grenades,
hand grenades, machine guns. What? No, they pay us cash. They have this thing called Star Card, which is like a credit card they give every soldier when they come in. They can pay on that. If they can't do that, they do. Payment plans to where they just pull it straight from their check. So it's like they're guaranteed to get tattoos and they come in and they want big tattoos. What's fucking wild is these motherfuckers will come in jacked cock diesel looking like 6'4" with a mustache and they'll be like, hey, how you doing? I want to get tattooed. I'm like, cool, what do you want? They're like, yeah, I want a fucking Pokemon. And I'm all right, let's run it. I'm a little.
Now, are they getting Bulbasaur or are they getting Charmander?
Yeah, they're getting all them fuckers, man. Which is cool, but it's like
but it doesn't match the
aesthetic,
the transporter of that tattoo. It doesn't match at all.
So I'm not used to that, but I'll still run it.
But that's like a 6'22"
Yeah, exactly.
That's not to say like.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna say,
you gotta paint that picture.
It used to be. Yeah, they would come in and they want like daggers and flames and stuff.
Fuck yeah, some Green Reapers and barbed wire. Shit.
All that's changed, which is fine. You know what? I don't judge. Whatever they want, they want. You know what I mean? I'll run it. I'm a tattooer.
And I'm sure the stories, like probably a lot of those personal just at the base, probably they were deployed. They seen some action, some shitty stuff.
Well, not just that. Like you get a lot of these guys come in, they got the 1,000-yard stare. They're fucked up. And that's their solace. Like they come to us and we fix them and we help them. So.
So when you say we help it during the session, you have like a that interaction.
Yeah,
like
with me, especially because I was
the bond that is created with the
it's different because
no, probably, but just it exists that is created.
Well, I did what they did. So when they sit with me, they unload and they're like, yeah, this happened, this ran this place, this time, this platoon, this what, and I get it, and I listen and they just unload. It's just like anything else. It's just more military based. That's it.
Yeah.
So
it's called the needle goes deeper than the skin there.
Yeah.
Well, I think honest, when you got someone like his story and timeline thing, to me that's like the old school gypsies. Like you've got that by traveling. You've got that by experiencing life. Like these guys feel comfortable to talk to him because he's already been through it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like, when you look at like tattooers, it's like you connect with somebody fast because they've been through it. And so then when you have like being able to let your guard down, it's like listening to like a therapist. Like who are you going to listen to if someone's never been through a fucked up thing? Like, how are you going to tell me what life is like?
Bro,
how are you going to fix me? Like,
I don't
if
eat
you've
from
never been through anything fucked up, like, you're not going to relate.
I don't eat from a skinny chef. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, that's the way it works. Like,
And so
It makes sense.
having people come in there like that, I think is beneficial because there's a form of to where I think a comfortability, but also a recognition to where it's like, yeah, I know I'm with someone who's legit, who's not just like, I'm not just a fucking checkbook where it's like, here, take my money, fuck off and care.
Yeah.
You're like, no, dude, you're going to break, conversation. Is it going to be legit? He's going to say something. You're going to feel more comfortable. And that's how you build, people coming back to you and stuff like that, and especially in that kind of environment, you're not in a mall, you're on a military base. They're out there for a different reason.
It's a shop. You're not like, I'm not tucked away in some food thing.
But
like,
that's no Washington Avenue in Miami Beach. You're in a fucking military base. So
exactly.
You say that there is rule, regulations, and a code of conduct, that the way that they need to just manage themselves,
which is great because they won't come in and like if you go, every shop they walk in, oh, how much is that? And you're like, oh, $100. And they're like, they're not allowed to do that.
Tire you?
Yeah, they won't allow. They're not allowed to do that. They go, thank you, sir, I appreciate your time, and they walk out.
Now I'm going to put them on the spot.
Oh, fuck.
All right. How does working on a military base compare to working at Hart and Huntington?
That's a simple one.
It was the same amount of bullshit.
Because, let's explain what Hart and Huntington
Hart and Huntington is...
this one here at the park?
Yeah, I worked at that one.
Though.
That's a franchise.
I have okay, do you guys work there?
I worked there for 3 months.
Do you know Mark?
Yeah, I do. I know Mark.
Mark is my friend.
Okay.
He comes from Miami, I worked with
him for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah?
He's got a good gun collection.
Mark.
I worked for
Fucking
I worked
Mark.
for Hart
I
and
love
Huntington
the motherfucker.
I worked at the one here in Orlando for
in the park, inside the park.
8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I caught a lot of flack, kinda, because I've been in the industry for so long. People knew me before it, so I didn't catch the flack that a lot of the other guys were catching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it is a franchise, right? So it's like people looked at it as like, oh, you're selling out, and I'm like, I still carry myself like a tattooer.
Exactly.
I know who the fuck I am. Like,
you're not selling out.
And if you ain't gonna come up to my face and say it, I don't give a fuck.
I don't think that would be a sellout, though.
Yeah. Well, you would believe there was a lot of people that said it, so I didn't think so either. Because
are those the same sellouts?
Exactly.
Yeah,
what is like a TV show because it's funny. Like all the people that used to talk shit about me because I went on Ink Master are the same ones that I was like, oh, you're on the next season. Oh, you're on the next season. Oh, it's been 8 years and you're still flying that banner.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I've never flown a banner.
Everybody knows. They talk shit about you before. Come on.
Remember that dude that said something about the couch for me? He was like, he goes, oh, fucking Ryan Eternal, you're a second-rate tattooer. I go, bro, I didn't even know you before this comment. I go, you were watching me from your couch.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows that I'm famous for being on Ink Master for 3.7 seconds.
It was the best 3.7 seconds.
You see, I think so too.
Rating.
And they only got the back of my head. If they would have got the whole
front,
but
spin off. You'd have had your own show so quick.
It's like you get to see the differences. You know what I'm saying? It's just like what people think and what people say.
I do have one question. I think on the opposite side of this again, and it's just opportunity for me. Being able to again like do podcasts. Like to me, I like this stuff. To me, this is like I think it's necessary. Yeah, I don't think all podcasts are good or like that, but it's archivable. It's something that you can pass along, whether people have something to say or not, or something like that. But I find a lot of times when you guys find yourselves in a position to make a podcast and stuff like that, and a lot of times it's like story searching. So you're looking for things that kind of connect. With that being, now this is no different part than to me is another form of social media as a part of our industry now. Industry, and I say that because it's what it is. Do you think that there's going to be a major change coming soon with the industry that you think is going to be positive, or do you think something's going to happen soon that's going to break it apart to be negative?
Through this, for example, through a podcast?
Through tattooing. No, podcasts are what it is. Podcast is just what it is. But because opinion, you've had the opportunity to talk to many people. Do you think it's going to be worse?
Yeah. It's going. In my personal opinion,
I think it's
I gave like a word for the tat apocalypse soon. These have to explode in a way to be rebuilt, recreated again in a better way or in a worse way, but it's going to implode. It's too much stupidity, bullshit going on around that we need to resource to this, to cross information, make people know that there is Still people that cares, people that knows, people. So look at what we need to resource. Back in the day, what you do? We sit and talk. Now we need to resource to these things to pass along a message. To me, my personal opinion, this is gonna explode. It's too much, too many of the same with nothing, and it's gonna go nowhere. It has to explode to be that apocalypse.
What do you think is going to be the one thing to ignite it? What do you think that's going to be the thing that makes it explode?
To me, I believe that just probably is the large amount of people without the heart on the industry.
I think it's happening.
That's what is going to clash.
It's happening right now.
That's what is going to clash with the heart, and it's going to be like the fucking Crusades, and it's going to explode, and it's going to break apart. It's going to be a big fucking division. Some things going to end. Some things are going to be created.
I think technology is going to make,
like, for example, AI,
that
kind of shit.
It's going to take, I don't want to say it's going to take the craft out, but it's definitely going to take the culture out. The craft will still be there, but the craft is going to evolve into something different, where technology is going to take a lot of different places.
Also due to the way that hard, no hard. So that
but the culture is going to change
for a reason, and this is what it's going to come down to. The people are in the industry who may be too naive to it, but you guys have been around that you know this enough. So this is already history parts that's behind the scenes that go on. Okay, we are going to see a change in it, and the explosion is going to be that big corporations are going to take over our industry. They've already started doing it. A lot of the companies that we looked at now have all been sold by big firms that have nothing to do with tattooing who are going to own it.
FK Irons, no long ago.
FK was just a part of the package deal.
Yeah.
It was FK. It's Eternal. You had Fusion. You had Kingpin. You've had Tat Soul. It's all of it's gone. Okay, but those people are going to come in, and now if you look at what they're doing with our ink and regulating it, that they're doing over in Europe is going to get pushed here. Now, if you look at what Mario,
regulation in Europe.
Oh, we're going to get worse. But you look at it like, was it Revlon? Like Revlon is going to be like, there's going to be like a company that's basically controlled what we can put in our pigments and not.
You mentioned Revlon, the cosmetic fucking company.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
So when you look at like a company that has nothing to do with the industry dictating pigments and stuff because they want a regulation in it, because let's be true, we don't have a regulation.
They don't want the
and
regulation.
That's their own
they
fault.
Want the money involved.
Well, that's what they want. Yeah, because they realize that we couldn't be, like no one's controlling these guys and they're making that much money. They're like, well, fuck, it's a bunch of pirates. So we're going to do that.
2.2 billion.
Yeah, and we have no one to guide us. We just became this way, and they realized. But you realize, like, we are part of electronic, medical, art field. Like we fall under so many hats into one division, but no one controlling it. We're just free for all. It's like we're a bunch of fucking kids sitting in a school with a fucking substitute teacher that nobody fucking knows who it is.
What's impossible?
And it's going there.
It's impossible to put a leader on it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because who's to say that?
We need John Connor.
There you go.
But so when you have a company that comes in, it's going to implode it because people are going to be. Nobody wants to be told what to do. And we talk about history repeating itself. If you look at what's going on, no, well, we're going to have certain states, I think, are going to be like how New York shut it down because of the hepatitis outbreak and stuff like that, where you're going to have like people going, I'm not paying that shitty kind of money for a shitty ass product. I'm going to make my own. Right. Most people don't want to make their own. They're going to look online, find out how to do it, fuck a bunch of shit up, And so that's going to be the history repeating itself of like ruining the stuff because they don't know the actual proper way because no apprenticeship ever told them the proper way to go out there. And again, not everyone should know it. Again, like we just discussed hours ago. But if you look at what's going on, more people who are in the industry who are truthful about being busy, when we ask them, hey, are you busy or you're not? They're being truthful with you. They're like, no, I'm fucking dead. And the ones who are like, oh, dude, we've had a really couple of days. Most of those are the flash style shops. I think we're going to go back to the old school shop ways of like people walking in, picking stuff off the wall because they need to know what's done. They need to see what's cool. Because right now, when you look at online, it's the same fucking tattoo almost. Right. But when you take away those people who are art student tattooers because they don't know about tattooing nor care to, and just realize like, well, I made money here. Now I'm going to go over here. So I think we're going to get a big chunk of that falling off of the industry, getting back to the craft now, but we're going to have regulations now. So that's going to go back to, in my opinion, back to the old school tattoo shops where we were regulated to where it's like, here's the station, here's where all the stuff is, here's our autoclave, here's how we prove that we've done it, here's how it was made, everything back to the old school ways of like there, and then it's going to cycle itself out again to where people are going to look at it and just pick shit off the wall, get the tattoo, you're going to do your stuff, we're going to get back into growing up again, and like it building up to like it being popular again and just repeating itself.
Well,
Thank God I didn't throw away my flash racks.
I don't know if you guys know this. A lot of the
I'm peachy for the next
You wanna laugh?
150 years.
I just put up flash racks in all my shops, and
Why?
people were
Why?
calling me
But
stupid.
why?
Because I wanted to showcase the flash art that my artists are doing.
And you're seeing that people are starting to get it more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're recognizing history coming back around full circle. So I think we are going to see that change into shops going back into actual shops.
And I didn't throw away my Judy Parker flash.
Fuck no, dude. That's a moneymaker
yeah.
like a
JD
motherfucker,
Crow.
dude. Joe.
JD Crow.
JD Crow.
Jeez.
Oh, fuck, God. Dude, if you
That
can
we
find
make
some
a
Greg
lot of
Irons,
money.
fucking. Yeah. Yeah.
JD Crow. Guys, for whoever it was watching, I hope it was somebody watching.
At least one.
Let's hold the line.
Hold the line.
Telling all these people, who are you? Where they found you? Where they can see you work? Where you at? Saying like with you, what base you're gonna be? But just give your information. People need to know about you, especially about you. I like you very much. But
Fuck me, right?
no.
Alright.
Hey, come on, big guy. I like you too.
Why do you think I'm inviting you back to the house after?
Let's get the people to know people that the civilians, like I call it, the people that just they don't know too much about it, where they can see what you guys do, where they can find your work and see the shit, the real deal.
My name is Jime Litwalk. I've been tattooing for over 32 years. Currently reside in Orlando, Florida.
There you go.
can look my name up, and that's where I'll do the work. I'm not fucking doing everything for you.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
My name is Ryan Eternal. I live in Orlando, Florida. Tattoo. Yeah, I'm on a plane.
California,
Fucking,
yeah.
I'm everywhere. So
My passport.
Ryan, no fuck, dude. Ryan Eternal. Eternal Tattooing on Instagram. Same thing, dude. Fucking find me. I'm worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There
Like,
you go.
that's it. That's
Don't
why.
follow me. I'm
Oh,
lost
yeah.
already.
You
Yeah.
either want or you don't, man. Just fucking
Guys,
do the
thank
work.
you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Chico, thank you for being here. Yeah, I know you had a long driving from Miami with me.
I'm just happy that I got to invite two ink masters who aren't
Fuck yeah.
who,
That's
who
nice.
aren't the regular. They're my
Hold
friends.
on, wait. Rephrase that. You invited two friends to come fucking
friends.
There
hang
you
out.
see,
fucking
but that's what I'm saying.
We were on Ink Master. We're
Just-
not
yeah,
Ink
Ink
Masters.
Masters.
That's
Yeah,
not
just
what we
just
are.
so you
We
know,
don't hold our
I
hat on
knew
that
the-
shit.
just-
we fucking hold our
Just
hat
so
on
you
the
think
craft.
I'm not on their dick or anything, because I knew them before they were on Ink Master, and we were actually friends before they were on Ink Master. In fact, one of them was supposed to work for me and never showed the fuck up to work. I'm not gonna say which one.
It was a Jimmy. Fuck that guy.
He looks like there's a big guy with a cowboy hat.
Damn, there's like 2 minutes left here. Throw me out of the fucking bus and there's 2 minutes, guys. I worked in my
I'm gonna give you a hug. Remember, if you like what we're doing, follow, share, and subscribe.
And if you really like what we're doing, please give us a 5-star review. It really helps.